Warning, this video is not intended for anyone under the age of 14. If you are under the age of 14, do not attempt these upgrades. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Wltoys Rides and Reviews. We are in a sad state right now, but I just finished doing the brushless conversion to this. This is a 60 amp 4300 kV Ghoul RC system. I put the original pinion back in there. We're running a Fly Sky waterproof. This is fully waterproof system, and I have the original 2S battery in there at the 1500 mAh. I'm still waiting on the body pins so I can properly mount this body. It's just a little bit too thick to get this body back on there properly. But while we're waiting, I have done a little bit of research, and from the people that I've talked to, this should work. I've got these LC Racing hubs right here. Go ahead and pull these out. And they didn't come with any screws, so I really hope the original screws fit into these. Alright, everything looks pretty nice. The only thing I'm noticing is this thing right here. This is the piece that actually broke off on mine, on that front hub, and that thing is super thin. I just worry about that a little bit. But I did order another set, the Wltoys actual front hub set I ordered. But that's actually, I think it's just this piece. But I ordered that just in case this didn't fit. I also ordered the plastic original hub just in case everything went awry, or just in case I break one of these as well. I also picked up some aluminum rims. I actually unboxed these on a video the other day. I'm going to go ahead and show these a little bit. Alright, I went ahead and pulled one out. These are the tires I'm going to be using. This is some rally tires, 10th scale rally tires. And these are bead locks. I'm going to have to work these on there. They're very tight fit. These are 1.9 inch rims, and they're pretty similar size, almost the exact same size. They look like they are the exact same size as these stock tires. Well, after banging my head on the wall and going through this thing in multiple different scenarios, and I even tried some elongated screws to try to pull everything together, but I keep ending up with this. And I think this is a result of cheap rims that were just not designed well. You can see on this side, there's a different type of lip I'm going to show you in a second. See, it perfectly seats around the bead there, but this is rounded and it has nothing to captivate the bead. There's no room for the bead to set in there. So I'm stuck with rims and tires that I cannot use. This is ridiculous. So I guess we're going to move on to the hub set. I'm going to go ahead and start peeling these off. These are all Phillips, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and peel all these off, take these hubs out of here. Alright, so far it seems like this is the video of disappointment. I tried to get these hubs on here, but what ended up happening is the main difference is the size of the bearings that are on these axles. The ones from the LC Racing obviously have a little bit bigger of a bearing. It does have a little bit of a plastic cup that went in there. Where is it? But even with that installed, that is still way bigger. The bearing just sits in there too loose, so I wasn't able to use these steering hubs. But I was able to use this one, this inner hub, which is actually what broke. I thought it was the outer one, but it's actually this inner piece, this little knuckle here, that broke off. And on the other side, the one for the other side, this piece is super thin. I don't really like that too much, but I do what I gotta do for right now. I'm just gonna use this one to keep the other one as a spare. But I did have to grind this down a little bit with a Dremel, top and bottom, to get this thing to steer a little bit more smoothly. It was binding up. It's a little bit tight, but otherwise this thing does fit in here pretty well. So I thought the outer ring on this plastic one might be able to come out of there, so I gave it a few taps to just messing around, and I wasn't able to get it to move, so I'm just going to reinstall it like it is. I mean, all I really need to do is just get this thing back together so I can finally do a speed run. I also need to unbox this speed meter over here. Sky RC, I paid $60 for this thing, so hopefully that thing works out pretty good. We're going to see how this thing works out once I get it back assembled. So it seems the stock screws line up in there. They get the same threads as these LC Racing ones. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this axle back in here and hook everything back up. So there it is. And I have to say again, everything lined up perfectly. Seeing as though this is apart from another RC supposedly. Well, this thing is definitely so close to exactly the same as an LC Racing that the hubs can fit. I would say that's a pretty close clone. But when you're like me and you're on a budget, man, you're really only looking at the price tag for most part. So I guess I'll be unboxing this speed meter as soon as my body pins come in. That way I can put that body back on there. But I guess for now we can go ahead and put one more LC Racing part on here. This is the Truggy LC Racing wing. It looks like it bolts right on there, so I'm going to see if it does real quick. So here's the stock wing here. We got this wing. A little bit bigger and a little bit harder plastic. This wing here seems really flimsy, and once I get up to about, I think about 50-60 miles an hour, this thing's just going to be flapping in the wind. So this nice hard plastic one is going to be a little bit of an upgrade. Plus it has those cutters in there that kind of diffuses the wind a little bit. It's a much more aggressive wing. Alright, I stuck the body on there just to kind of show the difference of the transition with the new wing on there. There it is. I'm going to have to put the plate on there and mount it up. It is a much more race style wing. This one actually came with Allen screws, but it's a good thing it came with its own set of screws. The other wing, it's so flexible. When this thing flipped over a couple times in the first couple of runs, it actually ground the heads right off of a couple of these screws. So out with the old and with the new. It is a much bigger wing. So I am so let down by these wheels and tires, but here she is back on all fours. We're finally back together, ready to do a speed run tomorrow. I've only got one of the metal hubs on there. It's looking pretty lonely, but I gotta do what I gotta do to get it back on the road. So actually going to do a speed run tomorrow. We're going to do a speed run with the new GPS. So I'm going to do an unboxing on that. So if you like what you see, if you like how she turned out, like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. Do whatever. Deuces. Appreciate it.